this, dude?
I'm ready for this, bro!
Devin, Corey, congratulate you. You are now challenge champion.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast here on video again. I'm Steven.
And I am Mixie. We are here to recap the final episode, episode 19 of the Challenge Ride or Dies, The End of the Road.
It's the end of the road as we know it. I know that's not the song. Don't get
No, that was good. That was good. That was a good
Thanks,
remix.
That's what the air horn is originally intended for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got a victory that, I don't know about you, but I was praying for.
I was so nervous. We had the odds against Tori and Devin winning.
Yeah.
They had a 1/3 chance of pulling this out.
Well, I think a half, but sure, a third.
And they did it.
Yeah, they did.
And I was ecstatic.
Yeah, I was too. Out of the 3 teams that were in, I wanted them to win. I think as a collective, I don't want to speak for all of the hotties and all of the challenge watchers, but I do think collectively people wanted it. Especially after fucking Babe this episode.
Babes, Bricks, Battlestar Galactica.
Babe bitching Bricks, Battlestar Galactica.
Babe bitching about Bricks, Battlestar Galactica. See if you can do 5. See if you can do 5.
Babe bitching about Bricks, Bananas, Battlestar Galactica.
Ooh. Babe
Oh, Jesus.
bitching about both Bananas, Bricks, Bolivia, Barney, Rubble Trouble, Battlestar Galactica.
Amazing.
Thank
Incredible.
You so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love and support you guys have been giving us in the first video that you saw here on the YouTube and still in your ear holes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We appreciate that so much.
Yes, it's
fun
been
doing
great.
it.
I've been
Yeah.
loving it.
This is a little different look here.
Yes.
A little different look for episode 2. We're trying a few different things here to see what works for us, what's the easiest route going forward to make sure we keep sending these to you.
Yeah, so
here
make
we
sure
are.
you're subscribed because we will be continuing to put these out on YouTube.
Mixie, we don't care if they subscribe.
If you don't, it's fine. But
Yeah.
if you want to know exactly the second that it goes up, you could, but I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, you don't have to turn a bell on.
No,
I mean, you could turn a bell on.
you could.
But you don't have to. This was the 7th season for Tori and Devin.
Oh, okay.
7th season each. They got the victory together after being on Are You the One together.
Yeah, it was full circle moment.
And to full circle it even more, who was Bananas' kind of arch rival for a little while? It was Devin.
Yeah, it was.
Like Devin wanted to take, and maybe the line should have been more, who was Devin's arch enemy?
Yeah, bananas. I mean, I think that Devin wants to be Bananas, but now he's made his own path and he can be Dave. And
Yes.
there's not a problem there.
Dave and Dave just saving us like the true superheroes they are.
Absolutely.
From just really an unideal situation otherwise.
To say the least.
There was many times during this final, Mixie,
You thought?
where I thought this is the end of Dave and Dave during this final.
Well, they were probably the strongest team.
Yes.
They were probably the most actual ride or die out of any of the people in the final, in my opinion. Although we did see Bananas crying for Babe, which I will get to, and personally for me really pissed me off. But we'll get there.
Bananas, bawling, Babe. Babe. No, we're good. I'm good with that one. That's the only one I'm
Do you
going to
think
do.
that they could get this?
You might hear a helicopter or two going over our head.
We're trying.
We're trying. We're experimenting. You know what we're doing.
We're learning and growing.
We're learning and growing. We're always learning and growing, and we're more to learn and grow than from the challenge
Yeah, and the final.
and the final. Let's just look at this big picture. We'll
Okay.
hit some specific things as we go, but I'm just more interested on the idea of this final as an episode, what did you think overarchingly?
I was underwhelmed until they got to that maze. It gave me like Squid Game vibes.
Okay. It gave me Tron vibes.
Well, yeah,
Immediately before Tori even said it, I go, they have the light thing down their thing and the backpack. I go, yo, like, this is like Tron stuff. And then Tori said it, and I was like, yo, Tron.
Yeah, I think the colors and like the actual look of it was very Tron, but like the style of the final and having this like gigantic maze and this huge thing was very Squid Games to me.
Okay.
But I'm curious because, as we know, I don't have 5 to 7 seasons. Has there ever been like something this grand, like this scale, where TJ is on scaffolding at the top of the building, like, come find me, I am God?
Before I answer that question, do we really think his voice sounded like that on location?
I don't know. I was thinking that too.
I wanted it to
It sounded very echoey. Yeah. I'm gonna assume so because it wasn't like the best audio quality for the viewer.
Your fate in this game is at stake.
I do think maybe that was it, or they might have added a bit of an echo just to make it a little bit more exciting.
Tron-esque. Because in Tron, like, there is an echo to the guy's voice.
Oh, okay.
Kind of in the what do they call it? The grid, I think, or something like that.
I need to watch Tron. I've never
Great
seen it.
movies.
I just watched B-Movie. You should check it out.
Obviously. If you haven't watched B-Movie.
HBO. Fuck you, Netflix. How dare you take that off?
Why would you do that to her?
It's fine. It's on HBO now. I'm good. As long as I can still see it.
You get the full unedited version now because it's on HBO.
Yeah, they have all the sex scenes between Barry and Vanessa for sure.
Oh my God.
You should check it out.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. Don't watch that version, guys. Don't watch that version. I don't recall having something this grand, and I think if they did, I would have been like, oh yeah, this feels like so and so. But it didn't. And like, I think the coolest thing for me was when those lights came on, like you saw Nani, sorry. You saw
go ahead.
Babe. My apologies to the community. Babe was baffled by the brilliance of. See, I've run through too many B's.
Listen, you're trying.
I need
It was cool to see them. It was cool to see them like really like be in awe of the grandness of it.
It's amazing.
I will say personally, and maybe I'm nitpicking at this point, but with it being so big, then they did like very small final eliminations, and I wish that they had like had to like run from the ends and like come all the way in, and then you know what I mean,
and then start.
Yeah, like some sort of something, or even like having them go through the maze a second time. It's not like they're gonna remember what they did.
No, I understand your point with that. You're right. That was the only kind of issue that I had with this episode in general. From top to bottom of this episode, from the editing, from the false like leads in the editing, to the production value of what they built there, to honestly like the drama of it all. You had Anissa getting injured. You had like this battle again. You had the battle between Bananas and Jordan, who were like these two gigantic figures in like challenge history. Yeah. And then you have just that final bit there at the end. And at first when they showed it, I was like, that's it? That's the end? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I just was kind of like, if you're going to have this huge final arena, basically, with this maze, I would have liked it if they had capitalized on it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And it did feel like, I don't know how long that took, but I imagine it took a while. I thought they'd be going from, like, this section of that, and then they'd, like, move over to the other section of it, and then keep going until they finish, like, all 4, like, quadrants, if you will. Yeah. But I understand, again, from a production value of, like, how you need to set this up to shoot it and make sure you get everything you need to capture it all in one go.
Totally.
And the ability for them to like look to see the progress I get all of that. I really enjoyed it. I thought
I thought it was great.
Very well done episode.
Yeah, I did. I agree with you. The editing was really good. They really built a lot of like tension and all of that. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and I was excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm on the edge of my seat going, if Babe wins this, if Babe wins this, I will be gutted.
Yeah.
Gutted.
Yep.
And listen, hate me all you want for not wanting to see Nani win. 5 years ago, I think I would have been in. Now I'm a little bit, guys, honestly.
Her attitude.
Thank you.
It was too much. And then what really like put the nail in the coffin for me was how awful she was to Bananas after running through that maze, especially because I mean through the whole season she's been like, take it seriously, work hard, this is for money, like why don't you care? And then he takes it seriously and works hard and grinds through that maze, and she's like, you didn't wait for me, like
I mean, again, the people who are questioning her being on this podcast, think about that idea right there. Think about, you're exactly right. The idea that she was doing all that. She did that the entire season. This is, again, like, when I don't know if this was planned, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, those little strings of storytelling are fantastic little things if you can connect them, right?
Yeah.
The idea that maybe they were setting that up all season for that little part, I don't know.
I think it would have been hard for them to edit around it. It happened so much, and it was such a pivotal part of like their team dynamic that they had to show that. And I do honestly think that that's the kind of person that she is. I think she has a quick trigger to get very upset and angry, and she also just does not do what we do and self-reflect and just blames on other people, and 95% of the time it's Bananas.
Yeah, she doesn't want to take a step back.
No.
She doesn't want to, like...
Step back, Nani.
Yeah, step back. Maybe do some reflecting. Maybe read a book. Maybe attend a seminar. Like we do here at The Right Reality.
Yeah. Babe should go on a walk, but walk backwards and think about it.
Good advice. Mm-hmm. Good advice.
Yeah.
Again, very happy with everything here. Before we get into more little specifics... thoughts on having an elimination in the final?
I love it.
I did too.
I love it. They did it for Spies, Lies, and Allies, which is the only real other challenge season that I have under my belt. So I liked it. I thought that I knew it was going to be those two in there. I'm glad that Tori and Devin got that first place spot back immediately after that awful spaghetti situation.
1,000%. I could not agree with you more. If they did not get a free pass there, it would have been just so epically disappointing.
Mm-hmm. I, once again, am a little bit upset that things were cut out. I know after we talked about the last episode, things came out where I think there was two little checkpoints that were cut out. Again, this episode, we see them throwing stuff out of the helicopter. They run off, and then all of a sudden it's dark.
Yeah.
But we saw them wake up and run to the helicopter.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they show the hours, and it's just like minus 8 hours. And I'm like, what the heck?
What are they doing? Yeah, that's one of my notes down here was they woke up, ran to the helicopter, performed, and now it's nighttime. Yeah,
well, they did show the hours. Well, Mr. TJ wanted to make sure that everybody knew it was hour 69, which thank you for that, Mr. TJ. So they showed that, and then they showed the running, and I did some quick math. Even though I don't do math, I did do it for you. Oh. And it was 3 hours. It took them 3 hours to do the helicopter thing.
That seems about right.
Yes.
That seems about right.
And then all of a sudden, it was nighttime and they're going through this maze. And I'm just like, I wonder if they actually had a checkpoint or two, or...
After that?
Yeah. Because...
I don't think they did. I think they knew they were going to be in that maze for a while, and so there was a down point. Mm-hmm. I think they were like, wake up, run to the helicopter, we're going to stop for a couple hours.
Yep.
Everybody's going to take a break, and then we'll pick up a little bit later. Mm-hmm. I think that was the idea of this.
Yeah.
Because it had to get dark enough out for them to do the Tron thing.
Yep.
And then it's like, we can't just have them do the Tron thing, go to sleep,
wake
and
up in
then wake
daytime
up
because
and
they
then
had
do
to
an
wait again.
elimination. So yeah, they were going to do that.
Yep.
Which, again, if it got me to where we got, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm so happy, as you said, that they did get the advantage, because I would like to know, MTV, Burnham and Murray, where can I do this helicopter smoke ball toss?
So dope. I was so jealous. This is like one of the only, I guess, dailies or checkpoints that I was like, oh, I would love to do this.
Where can I do this?
Because it didn't seem that high off the ground, so I wouldn't have been freaking out about that.
Thank you. That's the point. I would have got to throw something off. As Jordan said, feel a little Tom Cruise-esque.
Yeah.
Is this available at Universal Studios? This is available at Disney? Dollywood? Can I do this at Dollywood?
That would have been great.
It looked so much fun. Also, I guess you don't have to split the balls.
Yeah.
Where did this information come in?
Again, they pick. We're only allowed to carry one tire at a time, and each teammate has to slingshot the ball, but we can have whoever they want to throw the chalk balls. I mean, just keep it consistent.
Yeah, Bananas can throw all of them and they still not
See,
win.
I liked that they could make strategy of that, but carry that through the whole final. You know.
I agree 1,000%. Like, you should be able to do whatever you want, as long as it's like you need to do this to here. You want to exhaust yourself and carry 5 tires, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
But they did that for the elapsing of time, because they knew, okay, this is going to take this long. Again, I understand all of it, but tell me where I can do the helicopter thing, please.
Yeah, well, I can't decide if the helicopter part of that section was my favorite part, or Mr. TJ saying, I'm going to get you high.
And I'm going to get you high.
Can I just tell you the emotions that I had thinking about sitting at a table with a joint with Mr. TJ, and how fucking incredible would that be? He is now in my dream blunt rotation.
Do we think Mr. TJ...
100%. Don't even have to finish that statement. He's a BMX legend. You're going to sit here and tell me he doesn't smoke weed? Hotties, what do you think? Does Mr. TJ smoke weed? He smokes. I would put
comment on the video.
Yeah, comment on the video. Hey!
Oh, we can do that now. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's fun.
What a concept. Also, we're going to steal something from other videos online.
We're going to borrow.
We're going to pluck.
Oh, pluck. Yeah, pluck.
Episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to pluck it and drop it over here and say that each week, our favorite comment on the video will be pinned to the video.
Ooh, I like that.
So it can be about anything related to the episode, about what we say, anything. But our favorite airplane that you might be able to hear, you probably can be able to hear. Again, we're figuring things out.
It's so loud.
It's like Mr. TJ is on the helicopter.
He wants to get us high.
They're bringing it to us. He's going to get you high, and I'm going to physically be able to go high, because I don't get high. I'm going to be strapped down. I'm going to throw the paintballs.
Yeah,
down.
yep, I love that.
Explode.
Yeah. Why weren't they exploding?
It's a bit of a flaw in the Argentinian arts department.
Yeah. I was curious what was holding, because if it was just a chalk ball, that thing would have exploded at just lightly dropping it out of that helicopter. But they had to chuck that thing.
Launching them.
Yeah. Full arm throws.
It would be different if you could just go 3, 2, 1, release, and it just goes down and it cracks. But that's not what happened. It was like they were just just going, yikes.
It was, and I thought it was interesting. Devin and Tori go first. They killed it compared to the other two teams. But to me, Babe made them go first. They didn't learn anything from watching them. Neither of the teams did.
No, which I think makes a great thing like that. You can put people in line, but it's not like they learned jack shit. And that's what I appreciate, because there is sometimes such an advantage for going first.
Yeah.
And they didn't get anything. And I'm here for it, because it allowed them to leave early. I thought it was going to be because the 10-minute clock started going down. And I was like, they're going to get like a 20-minute head start on Babe and Bananas?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh.
Of course not.
5 minutes. Anissa and Jordan can go.
Yeah.
And then so they go, and I was just like, yeah, I wanted this to be longer.
Yeah, I
wanted
agree.
The advantage to be a little bit longer. That sucks. And then it was nighttime.
Can we talk about something that I thought was incredibly ironic?
Yes.
Nania's huge mouth won them more balls. The irony is just ridiculous. Her mouth won them more balls.
If you
I
don't
couldn't-
get
I
it,
couldn't pass
if
it.
You don't get it. If you don't get it,
I can't help you.
you should unsubscribe. If you don't get it, it's probably this is probably not the right podcast for you, and you should probably move on.
Yeah, all of a sudden though, it's nighttime again. We skip tonight.
We skip to night. All of a sudden, they are in the Argentinian version of Burning Man or a Coachella install.
Or a bad acid trip.
Bad acid trip. EDC somewhere. EDC Argentina. EDC The Challenge.
Fire festival?
What? And I was like, oh, this is a little situation. And as I already previously stated, this was the point where I was like, wow, that's pretty. And then I go, oh my God, it's like Tron. So they actually did a collab with Disney because Disney is opening a new Tron roller coaster that happens to be opening like right now.
Are they allowed to do that?
No, they're not. And did they really do that? No. No, they didn't really do that. But for the sake of our podcast,
Okay.
That's what they did.
Well, I just want to say that Snatch and Shoes is a work of dreams. So I would think that they couldn't go against the work of dreams.
Well,
so I don't know.
they are
That's
an
my thought on
independent
it.
third party.
Yeah,
You know, Big Daddy Paramount, independent third party,
That
not
is true.
related to any of those two firms.
That
they
is
do
true.
what they want.
You know, I wanted to talk about what we were talking about before with we think they may have skipped something. I think you are right. Now that we're discussing it, and I'm looking at my notes that I completely forgot I wrote down. I do think that if there was something in between, Babe and Bananas would have gotten to the maze second, but they got there third. Or at least the edit showed us them getting there third. Because the order of releasing was Tori and Devin,
you're right.
then Anissa and Jordan, then Babe and Bananas. And you cannot tell me with a straight face that Babe and Bananas wouldn't have passed Anissa and Jordan on a run to that maze. You know?
I'm going to try to tell you that with a straight face.
You can't. You can't do it. Did Anissa run?
Jordan and Anissa got their second.
Okay. Whatever you say. Because there's no way
No,
in hell.
there I went.
Yeah, there's no way in hell.
No.
So I do think.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Or they could have stopped there again. But again, that makes very little sense why they would have been like, go, unless they're trying to like make it seem like, for our perspective, that they continued into the evening. They went right from there into the evening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either way, doesn't really matter. We got there, and they finally like get there. You had, okay, so I did want to ask you this. They get to the fork in the road, the ever elusive fork in the road that TJ was like, oh, at a certain point, there will be a fork in the road. And I'm like, oh my God. Do you go right or left?
I go left every time because naturally people are going to go right. So I think left would be the faster option 9 out of 10 times. What are you thinking?
I'd go right,
Okay.
but I think it would also depend if I was first or second to the sign.
But you're assuming that the team went left. If you're going second to the sign, you're assuming
If
that
I'm
the team
going,
went left.
yeah, because I think most people would go, oh, let's not go right. Everybody else is going to go right, and then I'm gonna like, oh, you think I'm
Uno reverse card.
You think I'm going to go throw paper all the time? I'll throw scissors. No, which means you
Yeah.
are going to go rock. So I'm going to go right back to paper.
No,
and
that
just
makes sense.
Wrap this thing around again.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't think that there was an advantage either way.
No, what was the advantage of getting there? That that one people start on one side of the giant corn maze and the other people start on the other side. Like Tori and Jordan see, I'm always saying it. Oh, sorry about that. Anissa and Jordan and Bananas and Donnie were in the same line. They eventually got to the same place. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that. I guess it was for staging, but I feel like there could have been like, you get to pick. You get to pick left, right, or center. It would have been 3 different camps, right?
Yeah.
You could have done that, and then they all would have been released from their own individual thing. Mm-hmm. I did like the fact that we had 2 teams together there, and so when the lights went on, they were both like, "Oh my God, what are you talking about?"
Uh-huh.
I thought it was hysterical when they showed up to the camp, and they were like, "Oh my God, what do we do? Oh my God, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Where do we go? Where do we go?" And then at a certain point, Bananas and Donnie show up, and Tori's just like pops her head out of the fucking tent and is like, "I think we're just hanging here for a while." Yeah. What I would have loved if like you did have to like go explore the tents, and in the tent there was like a note. Mm-hmm. That would have been like dope, like a little escape room type thing.
Yeah, or like a little riddle that would have helped them like pick which way to go first.
They could have poached that and plucked it from All Star Shore.
Uh-huh. I do wish that they had all gone to one camp, so they all could have been exactly what you were saying, and all together.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 roads to choose from, and whoever got there first picked first, whoever got their second picked second, and third had to get whatever they got, and they did it that way.
Ooh.
That would have been fun, because I do agree with you. I think them reacting together was super fun, but having all 3 of them have reacted together, I'm curious if they were expecting to have 4 teams at that point.
Oh,
or if
1,000%.
because I think that they weren't gonna. I think there was probably 3 eliminations. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
You gotta like, what was the actual plan of getting rid of the other 3 teams prior to
getting rid of the other 2? Yeah, like how would they have gotten rid of 2? Would have been a double elimination.
But like how? Like how would they have done that if they did the balls? Like how would
could have had both do it?
All 3 teams against each other? Oh, like the 2
and the first team arriving gets to pick who they want to go against in the balls in.
Okay, that would make sense. I just like that was always in the back of my mind. Was like, was there something else planned that they had to completely scrap at any point? Not even if it's just the maze. Like at any point in this, like, was there a plan after 50 hours there was going to be an elimination to bring it down to 3 teams?
Well, right. You had the 3 cars on that road. I don't really think you could have fit 4 cars on that road. So would there have been an elimination after the pasta or something like that, right?
Well, they slept that night. So I do think that if they had a 4th car, they would have gotten rid of it because they probably set that up that night or in the morning.
I didn't even think about that. Like, how would this have played out with 4 teams with a non-broken face, Olivia, who made an appearance right there at the end? Like,
what a queen. I mean, my God. Didn't even brush her hair. She was in so much pain.
Okay. I want to play this scenario out.
Okay.
I would like you to play our queen, Olivia, laying in an Argentinian hospital with a broken face thanks to a golf ball. Mm-hmm. I will play the producer who now has to come get her out of the hospital and bring her to watch the final where she lost out on $1 million because our thing malfunctioned and a golf ball hit her in the face. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yep. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Did you tell Horacio I'm sorry?
He has.
What about the golf ball?
Both of them have actually asked me to tell you to stop apologizing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So,
sorry.
1, stop apologizing. 2, we know your face is broken, and mainly that's on us.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't say that. Don't use that.
Scratch
that.
So sorry that you said that to me.
I didn't say anything. Yeah, apologize. Exactly right. You should apologize for me saying something incorrectly.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to need you to do is just get up and follow me. We're going to go watch the final. We're going to watch the last elimination.
Can I put some makeup on or maybe brush my hair?
There's not enough time.
Okay.
And by not enough time, I mean there's a day. But no.
Okay.
We want you to look, forgive me for saying this, as awful as humanly possible. I know that's very tough because you are who you are.
Yeah,
But again, we, as production, would like you to get up out of this hospital bed and come watch the final that you cannot be a part of now. And at a certain point during that, we're going to put a camera on you, and then we're going to tell you, do some cheering, because obviously we need that shot. And and believe me, the people at home will no way realize that was fake cheering. It's going to look so believable, and not that we went 3, 2, 1, action, and then you and Horacio will go, yeah, let's do this. Come on, you guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll go cut, and then we'll just use that part.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Wear the gown. Just wear the gown.
Okay. Is this in my contract?
Everything's in your contract.
Okay, fine. Sorry, I even asked. All right, I'll go.
If you sleep with somebody on the plane on the way home, in our contract, we get to use the video.
Okay.
Yeah. So, MTV OnlyFans. Get used to it.
Well, they should make that. That would make a lot of money.
Great.
Well, they pretty much already have one. Everybody on that show has an OnlyFans at this point.
Close.
Yeah.
Close. I can always when the Reddit was like somebody has an OnlyFans and they're doing this. That tells me how far removed they are from their good days on the show.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, okay.
You're
doing those videos.
We've really stopped. Okay.
Capitalize while the iron's hot and your body's looking good.
Oh,
it starts
boy.
breaking down after a while. So the lights come on. Everybody is going absolute apeshit, as they should. I really do feel sorry for Devin and Tori and Bananas and Nani and Jordan and Anissa here, because those lights coming on is probably the coolest moment they will have for the rest of their life.
I mean, it was super dope.
Fuck me,
It
man.
was
Cool.
really cool. But don't worry, Babe ruined it by bitching the entire fucking time.
Are we surprised, though, gang? Are we really surprised that the entire time she's been asking, as you said, Johnny, to, take this seriously? He takes it maybe a little too seriously, but he was exactly right. If they would have got there first, they would have been safe. They wouldn't have had to worry about an elimination. And realistically, I don't know who wins that other elimination. Honestly.
Yeah, I think it probably would have been a bit tighter.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I mean, Anissa, she is hurt as much as we are making fun of her. She is hurt.
She is hurt, and now she has to use the hurt thing in the sand. Great. I love this.
So I don't know. I think I might have put my money on Anissa and Jordan.
I think I could have as well.
Because, I mean, Devin is a bit bigger than Jordan, but I think we can all agree Jordan's a bit more athletic. So I don't know. It would have been tight.
It would have been very. I thought this was going to be a blowout, if I was being honest with you.
Who were you thinking?
I thought, honestly, Bananas and Nani would have blown them out.
Well, something happened. The most beautiful thing that could have happened.
I am so happy just thinking about the first time of many times that I will watch Babe make the biggest blunder of all.
Not once, Steven, but fucking twice in a row. You can't write this shit. And guess what? Guess what happened? She yells at Bananas about it.
Johnny, when you're in,
I know, Johnny.
I don't understand.
He's like, after the first one, just like he did with the cars, don't touch the cars. She touches the cars. How am I supposed to know?
Yep,
This was, you get in the thing, you do it. What do you mean? I should slow down.
Yep.
Shut up, but Johnny. It was such a joyous moment for me.
He was beautiful.
And then I was going, oh no, this means Jordan and Anissa are going to win this. And now I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, Anissa and Jordan are going to win this. And the whole thing.
I wanted it so bad.
Now, the reason I say this, gang, is because a couple months ago, just before the season started to air, on my Twitter account, not our Right Reality Twitter account, Anissa and Jordan started to trend.
Okay.
And I go, okay, this is odd. And then I was hearing through the grapevine that the show had just finished filming.
Rapping.
And I go, have I been spoiled by a trending thing? Mm-hmm. By the fact that their names were trending? Is this how I've gotten spoiled?
That would have been so deep.
Just like, and I don't even follow challenge people on my personal Twitter for this.
Yeah,
very reason. And then a few weeks later, Anissa was trending. And I'm going, why would she be trending? And I was like, oh, unless she won this goddamn show finally. And then I was starting to panic. And I was like, especially then, I was like, this whole time I was like, listen, this is how she's going to win one of these. Is something like this takes place. And by God, it almost happened.
It did almost happen.
If it was not for the choo-choo train of the injury train pulling into the station, this train started in Ankleville. It has an express service to Kneville. Everybody aboard. Everybody aboard. I do really think she did really hurt herself there.
Oh, I do too.
That seemed pretty...
The scream was...
The scream.
Was real.
That was maybe an ACL, MCL type issue. And I do believe she was showing videos on social media of her like rehabbing. And she's like, oh, it didn't happen while I was filming. Of course you can't say that.
Yeah,
But I do really think she really hurt herself
Yeah,
there.
that would make sense. I am curious for you. I love doing this with Babe. Roles reversed. Babe's ankle is shot to hell. Anissa goes straight for the ankle. Would Babe have handled that with such grace? I have to give Anissa credit.
I'm going to make you stop the way you made me stop about TJ and TJ smoking. I'm going to make you stop. Because if anyone thinks Babe would not throw the biggest fit, what are you doing?
I was really impressed with Anissa. Obviously, it was after all of this happened. But when production asked her about Babe going for her ankles, she was like, I mean, she has to do what she has to do. And I was like, that's very respectable. Because I personally would be like, that's a fucking low blow.
Would you have gone for her ankle?
The size difference between us, I get, like, not like Nani is the same way. Like, you kind of have to. Exactly
the point. It's $1 million.
Yeah.
It's $1 million.
But I do think
we do this the entire season about like, I'm just playing a game. She said it to Fessy, right? We're just playing a game. You can't say for so long we're playing a game. And then when it benefits you, you go, you shouldn't do that. I'm playing hurt. Okay, if you're playing hurt and you couldn't compete,
don't play.
Don't play. Like, I should treat you the same way.
Yeah.
What's to then lead me to believe that you could fake this the whole time and then I wouldn't be able to tackle you because that's some BS. I would have done the exact same thing. As I hope someone would do to me. I mean, I would be a little pissed off.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't react super positively to it.
I'd be like, cool, that's the way we're going to do it. You can't beat me one-on-one. You're going to go for my injured ankle. What is this, pro wrestling thing?
It is a strategy.
It's a strategy.
But I couldn't help but think, if the roles were reversed, how that would have been handled. And I can't imagine that Babe would have been okay with that move.
Babe would have burned Argentina to the ground.
No, I agree.
It would have been just her standing there, like, you know, when she does the whole time, where she's got her little stink face. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm doing it right now. She did her little stink face. She's like, she's sitting there. But in the background, all the cornfield is on fire.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just on fire, and she's just looking at the camera like, man. It's supposed to be my season. Also, I want to ask you this, but from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah.
Was it a little fucked up that they built Babe up all season? This is the year of Babe. I want to win this finally. Banana Sting. I want to win this for Babe. This whole thing, fully knowing she did not win the season. Was this a little fucked up?
I liked it.
I did too.
That's not to say it wasn't fucked up a little bit.
Agreed. Not a little fucked up.
Especially because we know that she lost her mom.
Yes.
So she's already kind of going through it. Now she's got to rewatch this season with this whole buildup of everyone thinking she's going to get this.
Do you think Babe watched this season?
I think Reed's Back Bun Babe watched this season to see what actually happened.
Oh.
I think Babe went home and was like, bananas, meh, meh, meh,
Bananas
production.
fucked
Meh, 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 meh."
Bananas screwed me out of $1 million.
I touched the car, but it was definitely his fault somehow. And
I started building the bricks when Johnny told me not to do it, and then I just yelled at him because I'm like, "Come on, Johnny, we have to build these bricks. We can't sit here forever." And then I fucked us.
And then I missed the container for the ball 2 times, but it was actually Banana's fault. Meh, meh, meh.
Think about this. She missed putting the ball in the container 2 times, and they still won.
I know.
Like,
That's really bad.
She did her best to make sure they did not win.
I know.
And they still won.
I know. God bless Bananas, honestly. Like,
How do you feel about him going for Jordan's shirt?
I see now that I think was a strategic move, and Jordan should have thought through exactly what Bananas did. He went tank top. He should have thought about that. Jordan's one of the smartest players I've seen on the show.
That's what I was about to say. This reeks of a Jordan move.
Yeah.
This is what Jordan would have done. Jordan would have found the shirt and gone for the shirt and been like, deal with it, my guy.
Yeah,
Deal with it, my guy.
I agree.
I'm all about playing the strategy and trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. And it did not work. It did not work. But man, was that funny.
It was.
All these sequences of things happening right in this middle during this elimination. Very tense. The one thing I do want to say, going back a little bit before we figured out who was going to face each other, was the editors got me. Doesn't happen too often. But they... 2 things now that I'm thinking about this.
Oh, God.
One, right before they went to commercial, they showed Bananas and Nani with the little call-outs. And then Jordan and Anissa right behind them with the call-out. And they were about to, like, you could see they were about to get out of the maze.
Mm-hmm.
And nowhere in the picture did you see Tori and
Tori
Devin.
and Devin, I saw that.
Tori and Devin's fucked. And great shot of having them walk towards it, and they were in the darkness, so you couldn't really tell who it was.
Yeah.
And the audible volume that came out of my body.
Oh, yeah?
Call the police. I think my neighbors were concerned this entire last hour that I was watching this program.
Oh, yeah, because you were just screaming.
Screaming.
More than you were screaming at the Rihanna Super Bowl halftime show?
Damn, that was good.
God, it was good.
I've been seeing all the lights all day today.
Yeah, you have.
Just walking around. All the lights. That's actually what I've been doing. I'm sorry. I wasn't singing as much. I was just walking around going.
You've been killing it with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, God.
Can we note real quick?
Yeah.
Jordan lost balls out twice this season.
Yeah. Okay. Hotties are screaming that I have not mentioned this.
Oh, do I not know information?
The middle ring in balls out
Yeah,
is a no
what?
touching zone? What the fuck is this? I'm sorry. They've entered the safe zone now. You can't touch that. Bullshit. Until that ball goes in, I should be able to punch that right out of your arms.
I agree. I
What was
fully
that?
agree. It was.
This was the only flaw in this last episode.
Mm-hmm.
What was
I
that?
forgot about that. That was just like I was like, what the fuck? And then Nani still couldn't put the ball in. It was too good, Steven. It was too good. It was too good.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
You guys. So Mixie watched this before I did.
I fucked up. We normally, for those of you that are new here, we normally watch finals of all of this, anything that we're talking about together. I fucked up, but for the record, Steven remembered earlier in the day and decided not to say anything to me about it.
My fault.
You should have said something to me.
I didn't think it needed to be said.
I forgot.
So anyway, I'm driving home, and you're like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to get home and watch it." And I go, "You've watched it already?" And you were like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Cool, that's all right. I'll just watch it by myself, I guess." And you're like, "You did that." And I was like, "Did you forget?" You're like, "I did forget. Why did you say?" I was like, "Well, I thought about it earlier." And you're like,
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You thought about it, you remembered, and did not share with the class.
Sorry about it. But when Babe missed the ball for the second time because 2 doesn't exist,
Yep, uh-huh.
I felt what do the kids say? The masculine urge
Yeah.
to FaceTime Nixie immediately while I was on the floor rolling with laughter, being like, babes and balls don't mix.
It was beautiful.
It was so, and not only just that part, guys, not just that part, but the fact that she then yelled at Johnny.
I know.
Poor Johnny. The fact that he had to apologize after the maze thing is insane. Sorry that I tried to make sure you are fucking running. It's $1 million and we can go in elimination and maybe lose.
Again, the same thing that she bitched about all season. Now she's mad that he did. I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me.
I hurt my knee. Great.
Why don't you vocalize that? Hey, can you
Great.
slow down? My knee hurts.
And he's going to be like, run! I do love how they reused the same piece of audio like 80 times.
Yep.
Don't care. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I was laughing hysterically at was when they used the call-outs on the people as they're running, and the call-out was just like jumping up and down on the screen.
Yep.
In the black that was shooting that scene. They had to use that GoPro because they had no other footage.
No, did you see there was a cameraman trying to follow them through that
I
maze?
didn't see that.
There
I
was a
didn't see
wide
that.
shot, I want to say, of Bananas and Babe, where
Okay.
there was a cameraman. And then at one point, I think Jordan and Anissa hit a dead end, and they turned around. And if you looked at the corner, you could
could see
see a
him.
cameraman just like jump to the side.
Well, it's better than what our good friends Joe Millie used to do. It's like, just leave the cameraman in.
I
Just leave him
loved
in.
that, though.
It
God,
was
I
great.
missed that show.
One of my other favorite things, other than Babe making so many blunders,
Mm-hmm.
was that at one point they used the camera of, I think, Nani, after she said she hurt her knee, or maybe it was Tori, of her running, and you just see like her arms, like her hands doing like one of these motions, like we were playing like a first-person shooter game, and they were like running through the fields. You just saw the hands going up and down. And normally that's a funny joke for like 10 seconds. But it was like a 20-second thing
Yep.
of this person
Yeah, they
running.
really stuck on that, didn't they?
Oh, God, that was quite good. And then, out of nowhere, Devin and Tori get to the finish line. They get to the finish line. They are the first ones there. And I am so happy.
Yep.
Tori is so happy that she utters the very first quote of the year and the quote of the season. Tori, take it away.
I'm gonna fart. Oh, I peed. Sorry.
Do you think Tori thought that was going to make it into the show?
No. Especially, I loved the full circle moment of it because didn't Jordan or Darrell, somebody said something about how Tori farts all the time.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And there
You're
she is at
right.
the final, farting and pissing herself.
So right. Do you think Tori thought that was going to make it into the show?
No. Especially, I loved the full circle moment of it because didn't Jordan or Darrell, somebody said something about how Tori farts all the time.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And there
You're
she is at
right.
the final, farting and pissing herself.
So right.
I mean, clearly she's been exposed. She doesn't care. It was a full circle moment, and I loved it.
I just love how they were just like, put that in there. I think it was the same thing as like Anisha's like, ooh, my cooch.
Yeah.
You know? I know some of you are thinking maybe, ooh, my cooch, or ouch, my cooch might be a quote of this. But come on. That's pretty good. Also, the terrorist line.
I was going to say, I'm still a little biased towards the terrorist line.
The terrorist line was great, but we knew he had to say something there.
Yeah.
This was just a level of something unexpected about, like, first it was like, ooh, I farted. And then she was like, oh, I peed myself a bit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
girl.
I think we should put it to the hotties. What do you guys think
Okay.
the quote of this season was? I'm biased still towards the terrorist comment because it was
Terrorist
so
is great.
good.
Terrorist is very good.
It was good.
It was very, very good. So Anissa and Jordan are out.
Steven, I just hate when I'm right all of the time.
About what?
I said that they were going to come in third.
You did. I hedged my bets because of what I saw on Twitter.
Well, that sounds like you got spoiled, and I'm not allowed to read spoilers, and now you're hedging bets because of it?
I was hedging. I never said I think they were going to win.
You never told me this until we were sitting down and recording this, and it's on camera when you first told me that you saw this.
Was the Twitter thing you saw correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so what the fuck? Don't try to throw me under the bus when you saw it weeks ago.
But you saw trending before the season even got fully underway. I saw it 2 weeks ago in a Twitter reply, and it said I think that it rhymes with Kevin and Dory. So,
did you block that account?
no.
You should go back and block that account.
Okay, I
'cause
will.
That person will do it again.
Okay, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Okay,
They'll
I'll
do
go
it
back and
again.
block him.
Was it on our stuff? Mm-hmm. Somebody commented on our stuff then?
No, not on our stuff. It was Devin had tweeted, "It's funny that you all think you know who's going to win
When we don't.
when we don't."
Yeah.
Which, what the fuck was that
Well,
tweet?
it's a real heady play by Devin there, trying to throw people off. Oh, maybe they don't know yet because it's a situation like they did a couple of years ago where they reveal it at the reunion.
I was praying that it was incorrect.
Yeah.
And I tossed it out as fact. Because I truly thought that this was the season of Babe.
Of course, we all thought. It was
I
the
know.
season of
So
Babe.
I really thought that I was misinformed. So I didn't take it and hedge bets based off of that information.
I like how you checking out Twitter replies, knowing that there could be spoilers, especially on somebody's actual account. Somehow, this is my fault.
My finger slipped.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Listen, I
Listening.
did
listening to
everything I could to avoid it.
Except clicking comments. Oh shit.
But I glanced and didn't see any names that I knew.
This is so good. It's like watching.
They said Kevin and Dory. I didn't see a T or a D or an A or a J or an N or a B.
It's like watching a kindergarten explain why they were doing something they know they shouldn't have done. But for me, I didn't do it. Deborah did it, and I just watched Deborah do it, and I don't know why Deborah's not in trouble.
Listen, all I'm saying is I saw the K, and I'm going to be straight up honest. I thought that Kenny had won somehow.
Did it say? Oh, it didn't say win.
It did not say win.
See, this is why, because I have muted
Yeah,
so many words for us.
exactly.
On that account.
I know you did, and that's why I stay on that account and not my personal account where I could see things that are trending that might be spoilers. So, anyways, I thought it was Kenny. I saw a K, and then it said Kevin, and I was like, "What?" And then I read the
You
first
should
part
click out.
because I was like, "Who the fuck is Kevin?"
Kevin from work.
Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin. Kevin's not here. So yeah,
It's okay.
But again, I was right. I hate when I'm right. I would have liked it a lot if it was Anissa and Jordan versus Tori and Devin in the final, because there would have been this Tori versus Jordan and the Tori and her best friend and Dave's just there,
I think so, but and I really wish they would have built the Devin and Banana story more, that they were real close. The only time we saw that was that little clip where it was like, is he going to put bananas in?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we saw the clips of them hanging out. But for those of you who know, these two could not have disliked each other more.
Yeah.
The stuff Banana said at the time about Devin's dad, who had just passed.
Ooh, that is
was
not a good look.
Brutal.
That is not what you want to see.
And then he stood up to him at the reunion. It was, y'all know, it was a thing. It was a thing. So to see those two going against each other in a final in the last two was great. But I do see your point. There's two storylines there for the other one.
Yeah.
Tori. Yeah, and then it all wraps around her. Wow, that would have been something too.
You know what wrapped around my brain? When they woke up that second day and everybody's getting out of the camp,
Oh.
and Mr. Banana Man gives us a nice boxer shot,
Oh
and it's
my God.
this week.
Ass of the week. Ass of the week.
A great ending to the ass of the week.
Some people say he's the best male ass in the show.
I mean, I can't really deny that. He really carried it for us in these last couple episodes. He got it, 2 weeks ago?
He did. He did.
And then Babe got it, which is like Team Banani is giving us some great ass, good ass play.
Ass.
Let's go into the final. They get to this hallway. At first, I looked at it and I was like, "They're gonna hall brawl
I thought they were gonna hall brawl for
the
championship.
championship."
And it would have been an absolute epic way of ending.
I kind of think that would have been sick.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. We get Mr. TJ saying that he has some people that he wants to bring out to cheer them on for the final, which that whole thing was fake, but okay. I was certain we were going to get some grease back bun Babe. And I honestly think Nani also thought Babe was coming. Babe was ready to Babe. She was going, like she was right there to say Babe. Oh, it's Olivia. Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
It is not Babe, but
I'm sure she looked at production. You brought them back. You bring Babe.
yeah, where
How dare
the
you.
fuck
where's
is Babe?
She looked at where's Babe? You bring back these bitches, but no Babe.
I'm sure she
No
was
respect
upset
on
about
Babe?
it. I'm sure she went off on to the production again, as she does. She just goes off on them constantly. But Mr. TJ explains what the final is going to be.
Final. Yes.
I liked the concept. And I liked the idea of like bringing back certain things that had happened throughout the season, right? But then there was stuff that didn't happen.
There was only one thing.
Well, the chains, I think they like had to untangle
Did
like
they?
ropes and stuff.
Well,
We didn't even watch that part really because we knew that they had won already, so they kind of
Sure.
were just like fast forward. But it was like I saw the spears and I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna be like some of the best things that happened this season."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was cinder blocks.
They should have done the Laurel and Jax thing where they had to throw flaming balls.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
That would have been good.
The sand room threw me.
They did this on another season where you had to get through, like, it was like a little bit of a maze thing. I do remember that on a previous season.
Okay.
By the way, that would have been where I would have got scared.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
would've freaked out a little
Honestly,
bit.
that's probably one of the scariest things that I've seen them do. Because Devin's right, especially the way Devin and Tori did it. They like made a small tunnel. If that collapsed on them, how would they have gotten them out of that?
Maybe break the side, or they'd probably have medics there to be able to pull them out, or something like that.
But how would they have, if it fully
the top
collapsed
opens.
in on them, that is scary as
I
fuck.
do like the strategy of just saying clear one side, which is really smart.
It was very smart.
I mean, of course, Devin was in the final of the final, and he was like, let's be smart here. He did it with the bricks. He did it with the sand. This is why I'm surprised he had never got one. I will say, overarchingly, that this was a very different final than I think fans are used to.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the vibe from the community is. So this can be something you want to comment. Or you can, if you're a hottie, leave it in the hotties as well for the discussion, or your YouTube submission for comments. What did you think? I like the change because I've been saying for quite some time it's the same thing. You're going to do a couple checkpoints, you're going to do some kayaking, and then you're going to climb a mountain.
I was going to say you climb a mountain.
At some point, this becomes old. And while I don't necessarily like that the last thing was just this long hallway of things,
Yeah.
and not some, again, endurance thing where you get this moment of climbing up the hill. Now, again, they did get this because of what happened. but climbing up the hill, and you can see TJ, and you get to the mountaintop. There's a flag there.
Yep.
And you go, we did it. And he goes, here's the check or something like that.
Yeah.
Which feels like a challenge final. I'm okay because of how this finished. That slow motion of them pulling it down and the reaction.
The sparks.
My neighbors, again, thinking something has happened to me
Yeah.
because of the yelling that I was doing. I, at first, again, did not like it. At the end, I did like it.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about the
Each
bricks.
of I want to talk about the spears.
Okay, let's talk about them.
Babe did absolutely zero to help in that situation.
Are you surprised?
I just like for how much she talks about putting effort, give it a shot. There's more money. I'm gonna win. Meh. She just like wiggling
Babe,
it.
was that you in here? It sounded like Babe. Is there a babe in here?
She just was like wiggling it a little bit, and I was just like, come on. I mean, Bananas fucking took that shit and handled it himself and fucking got them a nice ass lead.
Like a man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a man.
I was just kind of like, God, of course. And then she's bitching the whole time about it too. And then the cinder blocks come out, and is Babe making it more difficult? Shockaroo, she is. The fucking cinder blocks. I am excited for the reunion. I know we don't do an episode about it, but I am excited for the reunion. I hope that they talk to her about it. I don't think she'll take credit for fucking that up. Even if they hadn't put that brick that had the blue side or whatever, definitely they put it in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if they hadn't done that, she fucked up with the layout to begin with.
Yeah.
And I do think that would have, if they had the right brick out, I still think that fuck up would have cost them the final without that brick missing.
Okay.
Because
without the other one.
Yeah,
because they screw up twice.
The first screw up
was putting the backside one in the middle somewhere.
Yes. Well, no, I think that fuck up, I think, was the icing on the
even
cake.
If they didn't miss the front side.
But I think, because what happened was she miscounted, like, where it needed to start and how wide it was or whatever. I, to be honest, didn't fully follow it.
He came out twice and just dressed her down.
Yep.
This whole side is blank. This
Why
is where,
are you yelling?
Because you keep doing the same
Oh,
thing.
then stop yelling at me, Johnny.
And she was like, "Stop yelling at me." He's like,
You're doing it
"You're
wrong.
doing it wrong.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?"
Look at them. The key is right in front of us because they're fucking killing this puzzle.
Yeah.
And all they had to do, and I think it was Horacio, was like, it's fucking killing me to sit here, not be in this final, and look at them and know that all they have to do is tear it down and restart. And they refused to do it for a really long time. And that was before they realized that they had buried the wrong brick in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, and also the strategy about building the other side facing away. From again, all of these things is
Big brain.
deafening. You know, just the thought process of we're going to put these ones over here.
Yep.
We're going to put these ones over here and these ones over here, just because we know once they get in the middle, you're done. It's over.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. They quit.
Yeah.
They quit.
They did.
They absolutely quit. And I don't know how I feel about that. Because I can understand after 100 hours, you get to the
In
point,
quotations, 100 hours.
in 100 hours, which I still think is pretty close with all the
Well, they
time
counted all of
delays
the
they had.
stupid bullshit that shouldn't have
counts.
counted.
Well, it's another debate.
Okay.
I can see where you would just go like, why am I going to knock all these bricks over? Because I think by the time they realized that, they were midway through the sand, right? I think they were like, there's no way we're going to make up time moving sand.
Yep.
Unlike doing the puzzle. And I do like how there was like a strategy part of this. There was a strength part. There was an endurance part.
I agree.
There was all of the things that kind of collectively went together.
Well-rounded.
But seeing Babe just be disappointed would, in most cases, make people, a little sad. For me, I liked it.
I liked it too. And I don't like enjoy cheering for people to be in a fucked up situation, but how she treated Bananas, not even just in the full final because she was a bitch the whole time, but just the part where they were at that maze and extended past that, her having that attitude is honestly what I think cost them, because they were too busy yelling at each other because Bananas had enough. He had apologized 50 fucking thousand times. He was trying to be nice. She was not listening to him. She was like, I know what I'm doing. I don't fucking care what you have to say. And I think that's really, truly what cost them.
I think he apologized and he didn't feel like he needed to apologize, but he knew in order for her not to just go even further into her shell, he was going to have to do that. This is just classic old school Babe. Babe used to be like super fun, but Babe is just like, she's just got tude now. She's got constant tude, and I don't like it, obviously, but just, you're right. The whole perspective of like, take it seriously. Now he's taking it seriously. It's the same thing with Anissa. Like, the only time he can talk to you is if he's like super like respectful and helpful. No. It's an athletic event. It's the same people who probably go, well, coaches shouldn't yell at their players. They yell at their kids on, like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What do you think life is going to be like? You think everyone's going to be like, so you did some really good work today, but you really kind of screwed it up. No, your boss at some point is going to come up to you and be like, why'd you fuck this up? Mm-hmm. This is totally below par. You can't do this shit. Next time, you're out.
I agree.
Like, stop with this like thought of everybody's gotta be, this is so nice, we're just talking, it's so nice, it's good. No, it's just bullshit.
Yep.
I don't like it.
I agree with you. And then I hated after all of this, they're in this ITM that was clearly shot after the fact, and Bananas is fucking crying, saying he feels terrible that he lost this for her. What?
I do think he feels that
I
way,
agree.
even though it was not his fault.
But that's the part that I am not going to back up. And all of these people are like, oh, Banana's a bad guy, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm sure he was. I don't know how he was in previous seasons. I just saw him in my taxi cab for a while, and now he's on this. I just think that he is being too nice about this situation. She is not going to win in a partner or team setting with the attitude that she has, ever, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I mean, they very easily could have won that. Mm-hmm. But their communication, again, a thing that was being foreshadowed from maybe the entire show, came back at the end to do that.
Yep.
And bit him in the butt.
Yep.
And I enjoyed it. I didn't give a shit. I'm just happy Dave and Dave are the superheroes that saved us from the apocalypse. That was a Babe victory, or somehow Anissa backed herself into one.
I will say, Babe saying to Bananas in the ITM when he was sad about it, she was like, I've lost 12 times.
Absolutely a diabolical
I'm used to it.
It was so funny. And who was it? I think there was it was either Jordan or Bananas. I think Jordan said to Anissa when he gave her a big hug, he's like, you played a great season. You played the best season possible. And I was like, well, not really. You could have won.
Yep. No, I
agree.
agree.
The best season possible is winning, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's not like getting there and losing and maybe tearing your ACL. Wouldn't it be the best season?
But I
like
do think it was...
Olivia, oh, you played a great season. Oh, yeah, and I busted my face wide open.
I do think it was the best season that she could have possibly had.
I mean, honestly, they would have beasted that puzzle.
I think Jordan knew that the game was over once they got to that maze. I think he knew in his heart of hearts, because something changed in his eyes, in my opinion. I think he knew that they were done once they got to that maze.
I want to go back and watch that again. That's kind of interesting.
When he's looking, when the lights turn on and him and Anissa are looking, there's just something in his eyes that he's like, we're not going to make it through this.
I think he knew potentially that there would be an elimination there.
And they were going to go into it.
We're going to go in because the only way we wouldn't go in is for the first team there. And maybe even still, somehow it's a triple elimination or something like
Yeah.
that. I'm not feeling confident in it. I think he was just like done. I think he was just emotionally spent. Although like him breaking down at the end there and he's just like hunched over. Competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Athlete.
Absolutely.
Athlete. Big time athlete.
Well, there was one final twist that was not Mr. TJ's doing at
No.
all. There was some talk of the hotties about, they haven't really discussed what's going to happen with the money. Something's going to happen with the money. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, something's going to happen with this fucking money. Mr. TJ's giving them the $1 million. There
Here's
was
the money.
no twist. There was no you could steal it, which I don't think they would have stole it from each other. But there was none of that. But Devin, and I'm assuming Tori agreed on this prior to them winning.
Before they even got to the final, maybe this was the discussion.
Interesting. They decide to, quote, carry a tradition that CT and Greaseback Bun Babe started, which they did not start this tradition. Mr. TJ gave them the option and they decided to do it.
Good point.
But they gave some money to everybody that had made it to the final, which was very interesting to me. I loved that he said CT and Greaseback Bun Babe gave everybody $50,000. I'm going to give you $38,000 for 38 seasons.
Okay. One, disappointing. Two, at least Olivia and Horacio got some money out of the deal.
See, I was pissed Babe got money. I was very happy Olivia and Horacio did.
Because let's speak some facts here, everybody. For those of you who are not aware, all of those people in the final, minus Olivia and Horacio, made at least $38,000 for just showing up to this show.
At least is an understatement.
Okay? That is an absolute fact.
Yep.
These people are making money for showing up. Just showing up, okay? And Bananas is probably getting at least $100K for showing up.
Easily.
Okay?
And then guarantees.
Basically, Devin's giving them pocket change in comparison to the thing. So, to me, that doesn't make much sense. Because think about this for you, Will. 38 a person.
Yep.
3 teams. Mm-hmm. That's what? 38, $76,000 a team, right? Times 3. Because we don't math.
I was going to say, I know you're going to try to get to that final number, and I am not going to be able to get there in my head.
$228,000 they gave away.
Yep.
They gave away $114,000 each. Would you do that? No fucking way.
No.
Think about this. Banana stole what? $250,000 from Sarah, right? Mm-hmm. Or he took it. So it was about that type of money
Yep.
that he stole from Sarah. Mm-hmm. And yet we're just going, here you go. I'm giving it out of my thing. I'm keeping all the money. Unless there was a pact in the group, collectively of all 4 of them, all 4 groups that were like, hey, we'll all give a little bit to each other. But Olivia and Horacio,
I was going to say, I can't imagine that Olivia and Horacio would have agreed to that because Lord knows they were barely paid to be on that show.
They probably got a couple grand at the most. Probably $2,000-$3,000 for showing up.
Do you think this is going to continue? And if so, how would you feel about it?
It depends on who wins. If it's this group, sure.
Okay.
But I could see a lot of people at home not liking that one.
See, I don't like that because the whole thing is you work hard, you do everything you can to win the money at the end.
Yeah.
So it kind of like almost diminishes it a little bit of winning.
It's the whole idea that like somebody like Bananas is making $100K for showing up, and Issa's probably making 75, 80.
Yep.
Like why would you even really need to compete or show up in shape?
I agree.
For a physical competition show.
Yep.
Like you go, I'll get to the final. At least I'm going to get some extra money. Now I think they did this. Mm-hmm. I think they did this for one very specific reason.
The look of it?
Well, no. In previous seasons, as long as you got to the end, TJ was giving you some money. Mm-hmm. So before your 5 to 7 seasons,
Okay.
if there was 4 teams or 3 teams, first place, it was like $1 million. First place would split $600,000. The second place team would like split what's going to be left here, $300,000, right?
Okay.
And the last team would split $100,000, right?
Got it.
Or
Math.
even lower. It was like, okay, $800,000 to the winner, and then 100 and 100 to the other teams, or
Got
something
it.
like that.
Okay.
Some ungodly discrepancy between
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
That got worse and worse through the seasons. And now the past 2 seasons, it was like you get all the money. Mm-hmm. So I think what they're basically trying to do is like go back to the old ways, maybe force production's hand a little bit. Being
Okay.
like, hey, we should really be paying out these people who get to the end.
Or
Oh.
they are doing it strategically for the long run, because for myself, I don't think I would have given it away. But if I knew that I was going to be playing this game for a long time, I do think it's a smart play to give some, not that amount, but some money to, personally, I think I would just give it to second place, but some money to someone so that people are like, oh, if you're in my next season or whatever, if you come in first, you'll probably give me money if I make it to second. And I do think that that would give them some sort of, good juju to ride on, And Devin's smart. Devin thinks ahead constantly. I don't know. I do agree that it was a bit, I wouldn't have done it, but I don't know. I think that it might have been a bit of strategy for the future.
Yeah, and it very well could be. I think it's crazy that you have to make this decision.
I agree.
Like, it should be like what we used to have. It's like, all right, you're going to get this. As long as you finish, you're going to get something.
I mean, and they still could have had that, like there still could have been some sort of thing in the contract, like you'll get something, maybe not out of the $1 million pot, but you make it to the final, you get X amount extra.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally think that the fans aren't going to be very happy about this.
One of the fans happy.
That is true. That is true.
Come on.
It was an interesting way to end it. I am personally excited for this reunion. I hope that it's not a bunch of fluff about like people that left in the first 2 or 3 weeks and people just yelling at Turbo. I'm hoping that it is more about what happened in the final, like some of the strategic plays that happened, some of the backstabbing.
It's always about drama, Mixie. How dare you?
I know.
How dare you think for a second that the reunion is going to be something where we learn anything? It's going to be about 30 minutes of this is going to be Tori and Jordan and how everybody felt about Tori and Jordan, mom and dad, maybe getting back together.
Yeah.
That's what every Bananas podcast has been. It's what Tori and Anissa's podcast has been about.
Yeah.
Like, it's inevitable.
I
Like
know.
Thanos.
I know. I'm just hoping for it. I am happy overall with this season. What were your thoughts on the season?
I think the what's the word I'm looking for? The theme of the season, the ride or dies. Again, we knew it the whole time. Kind of fake.
Swing and a miss.
Because I did hear Anissa saying on another podcast, who knows if those exist,
I don't listen to other podcasts.
that she showed up to the game with a different partner.
Yep.
And then they both got COVID, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then this poor fuck is just like, see you later.
We don't know who it is because I did hear that there was rumors of it being Josh.
No, it was not Josh. She came with somebody who works out at the CrossFit gym that she goes to.
Oh, and then Jordan was like, all right, fine, I'll come. And they're like, fuck this rando. It's Jordan time.
Well, because they had to stop for whatchamacallit. And I think they called again to be like, hey, we're stopping for 14 days. Can you make it now? Because he was in Ukraine. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm back. I'm on holiday. They're like, come on. And so they kicked this other guy out of the curb, this poor other guy out of the curb. And they came in. But it sounded like they were trying to get him in because Naya failed her medical exam.
Yes.
So I guess she was there. I don't know who she was going to be partnered with.
Probably Jordan.
But they didn't know they had
Yeah,
Jordan.
that's true.
So how you're going to bring somebody? Would she have been an alternate? I feel like they would have just done some plug and play with a couple people.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree that the theme was off. I did really enjoy this season. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
In whole, there were a couple episodes that I was like, but
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's done,
yep.
do you still believe they had too many goddamn people?
Yes. Yes.
How did we feel about a 3-part final?
I was okay with it, again, because what we talked about last time with the Olivia situation,
Yes.
I think they had to.
And what we got this episode. Can you imagine trying to chop some of that out to
Yeah.
get 2 parts because you were doing 100 hours?
And they already had to chop stuff out because, we got those 2 checkpoints we didn't get to see.
I wouldn't have changed anything in that edit. I don't think. Like,
Yeah.
Like everything. They were able to let each of those beats breathe. We really saw the competition on all of those things, them going through the maze.
Yeah.
All of it, the throwing of the balls. Like, they didn't speed that up. They showed every single one of those being thrown down.
Yep.
And I was just like, hell yes,
Yeah.
let's go.
Uh-huh.
Hell yes, let's go.
I agree.
Again, overall, I don't like giving grades.
Okay. Should we
B
get...
plus.
Okay. All right.
B plus.
All right.
It
I'm
helped-
gonna agree with you. A B+.
It helped that we got the winners that I think in the last couple weeks we wanted to win. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Yeah.
result.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that if the theme was different or was actually real ride or dies, I would be in the A category. That is what knocked them down to a B in my book. But I think that everything else really kind of helped bring it up.
One final thing before we wrap this up and send you on your way for the rest of the challenge year. Well, not the rest of the challenge year, but you know what I mean. I'm thinking about this now. So Anissa would have come in with somebody who was not part of the show.
Yep.
Most everybody came in with somebody who was not part of the show.
Yep.
Except for Bananas and Nani. And then Tori and Devin.
Yep. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, there was Jarrell and Veronica, but that we all knew that wasn't going to carry through.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. But also, do we think that was planned?
I don't know.
And
Honestly,
I feel like it had to be, right?
I agree with you, though, what you're getting at. Like, if it was all people that were on the show and then bringing a new person on, or even just rookie pairs like we had, I do think it would have been more on theme with the ride or die. I am curious if it was something that was like
originally planned, and then they could, like, for some reason they couldn't pull it together, so they started doing swaps with the people that they needed to get in.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. It's
'Cause
an interesting thought.
The whole idea before this, I think the rumors were like, oh, it's another season of Bloodlines, which it kind of was, minus some people.
Yep.
But I do feel like, I mean, inherently, there was an advantage
Yes.
for those teams, and those 2 teams were the ones who got to the end.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's what they were trying to get at the beginning of the year, because they were like, all right, this would be the best thing for
Yeah.
us. But very good overall. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you've been enjoying watching us here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the subscribers. Now, here's the other thing I need you to do. Remember how we told you on Apple Podcasts to grab your loved one's phone and subscribe them? You're going to need to do the same thing here. So
That would be great.
Grab their phone, subscribe them or not. You don't have to turn their notification bell on.
Nah.
But maybe like the video,
Comment on it.
leave a comment or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever you would like to do, you can do that. As for what's next,
Ooh.
we'll leave that as a tease.
Oh, you gotta stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for a fantastic season. We'll be back soon with something else.
Something else, who knows? Could be another season of challenge.